డేటా అప్లోడ్ చేసి bad guy. Most bad. ఇంటర్నెట్ పని చేస్తుంది ఇంటర్నెట్ పని చేస్తుంది మీరే కానీ సిస్టమ్ చేసి పవర్ చీపీ ఛాన్స్ అంత ఒకటే పోతే ఇప్పుడు కానీ పవర్ ఆపరేషన్ ఉండాలని వేరే వాటికి తీసేసాను Now next. have used this code then.
Yeah, that's
I don't understand. Absolutely. Marker is there. Yeah.
Good morning everyone and welcome to day 2 of Faculty Development Program on ML applications for academic and industrial research. Before we begin, I extend a heartfelt invitation to each one of you to the day 2 of Faculty Development Program. And now it's my honor to welcome Mr. Gundal Nagaraj sir with 31 plus years of experience. He has led global IT deliveries, managed multi-million-dollar portfolios and played a key role in AI, analytics, cloud and enterprise technologies. As a startup mentor, he has guided over 26 plus startups and trained thousands of professionals worldwide. As alumni of expertise in business transformation and innovation. Today, he will be sharing his insights on machine learning in healthcare, a field that is transforming patient care, diagnosis and medical advancements. With a vast knowledge and leadership experience, we are excited to hear from him today. Nagaraj sir, we invite you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So maybe I'll go with the interactive with you people rather than like one-way communication. That is the best way to do the this section because I have 2 hours almost, right? 1.5 hours. That is enough. Very fair enough. So this is the topic basically today. How we can leverage AI, ML technologies. Okay. So before going to that, I would like to ask one big question like, we are listening a lot of buzzwords in the industry. For example, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, data analytics, business data analytics, LLMs, Gen AI. What are all these things? Anyone can share any of your thoughts? What do you mean by that? Whatever the just buzzwords I just told you people.
These are new technologies, so that we can solve these solutions.
Good. So these are the new technologies. Do you really think these are new technologies? Have you people heard the name? What I am going to spell now? Like statistical algorithms. Have you heard this, right? More than century, right? So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to do sugar-coated words over top of that. Very simple. Sugar-coated words, top of that. Because I am a practitioner, for me I don't need any fancy terminology over here. Always I look at a client to provide the solution. I hear the client problems, I provide the solution. That's all. Very simple. Even client don't mind whether I have used AML technologies or Java technologies. He is least bothered about it. So what I am trying to say is, whatever the buzzwords earlier I told, right? Behind that, we are using all statistical algorithms. Very simple to say that. That is number one. Number two, most of the time people are thinking, most of the people, I am not saying all, most of the people thinking that our daily problems will solve by AI ML technologies. Is that right? This is the question I am asking. Is that right? Yes or no? Yes? No? Yes, no? Right. Let me ask you before that. DeepSeek, right? Recently, it's a revolutionary. Does it really impact your life? Does it really impact your life? Whatever you are doing yesterday, whatever you are doing today, does it is any change because of the DeepSeek? You got my point? What I am trying to ask? Only few people are affected. Who are those? Can anyone identify? Only few people are affected by DeepSeek.
Researchers.
Okay. Which employees? Can you say employees? People who have the OpenAI shares. That's all. This is a question asked by my friend actually. He's staying in the village. Raju, I know you are working on AML technologies because of the DeepSeek. Is there any impact on you? I said, no. Even ChatGPT doesn't impact me. Whatever I am doing earlier, I am doing the same now. But technology will help you to make your life easy. That's it. Technology will help you to make your life easier. Number 2. Number 3. Where we are using these technologies? AML technologies. One word answer. Where we are using these technologies? I need one word answer from you.
On data.
Data. Wherever data is there, whatever type of data, it doesn't matter. Whether it is any form of the data, whether it is an image, whether it is a database data, structured data, unstructured data, it doesn't matter. So please remember these 3 points. We are using all statistical algorithms. Second one, AI is not using those technologies. Third one, whatever data it is there, whether it is civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical, airlines, you name any domain, bank, insurance. Is that clear? So these 3 points are very, very important. So always use technology for make your life easy. People are saying, right, yes, it is going to replace your job. Do you agree? AML is going to replace your jobs. Do you agree? Partially yes, partially no. Answer is always like that. You should be always very diplomatic. Because you are a statistician, right? So, yes, it is going to impact. And it is going to generate new job sets also. Same time, right? I think if people are, maybe some seniors, they can see that. We have seen the typewriters, right? After 10th standard, I'm talking about 30 years back story. We used to go for type institute to learn typewriter. Did anyone using the typewriter now? Everyone uses computer, right? All typewriters, whatever they are doing, they transform to type in the computer. That's all. You have to change your game. Unlearn, learn. Whatever you have which is not useful, okay, chhod do. Whatever is useful, learn it. That's all. Very simple. Whether it is today AI, tomorrow something else. It doesn't matter. Right? So with that, that is a brief introduction about this. I'm going to my topic actually. So I worked exclusively on healthcare systems, especially fraud detection. This is very, very big challenge actually. Fraud detection is a big challenge because here one person I am working over there to capture the frauds and all those things. Across the world, topmost intelligent people try to fraud. So I had to come back. So there is one proverb, right? How intelligent the thief is, he is going to caught by the police. Why? Why? The thief is involved only one person. But for the police department side, you got my point. Multiple brains have better performance than single brain. Very simple. So these are all, I am telling all with common sense. This is nothing related to ML, don't worry about it. You got my point? Okay? So the fraud, what we are trying to address, all intelligent people. Right? We are fighting with intelligent people, not the dumb people. Be careful. All these fraudsters are not dumb people. So anyway, I'll just dip into this topic. First, cases, how it works, right? I will try to skip some slides which are informative purpose. I am not going to discuss. Few slides, yes, exclusive I will discuss. That will be exactly useful for you people. Okay? And wherever is necessary, I will use the blackboard also. Okay? So basically what is the objective? I will explain that. Then today I took the one case study. One case study I have taken with some real-time data. I will spend around 40 to 45 minutes, and I have developed a unique Python scripting, just like English. If you don't know the programming area, don't worry about it. Try to learn that 30 steps, you will be data scientist. Very simple. Right? So that I will show all today. So this is my profile actually, more than 31 years of experience. And one of my strong 31 years of experience, my teaching experience 40 plus years. How come? Anyone guess? When I was a student, I used to teach my fellow students. Very simple. I am the only idiot in the class. Even though I am final year, I am one of the topper. Final year, I am studying the first year subject to teach my friend. You got my point? So that is the way, like, no, I got like a passion to teach all my life. No? So that's what I am telling even Dr. Sundar also today morning. Students should teach those students. That is the best approach to learn actually. Okay. So these are the silent points I am going to discuss. What is the fraud? How we define the fraud? Right? I will tell all in a layman terminology. Don't go by the bookish. I am going to share these slides to you people so that you can read it later also. Okay. Then how it impacts. So whenever you are doing this is the high level concept you need to remember. Whenever we are working any project, 20% on your technologies. Whether we are using Java, AML, it doesn't matter. Okay. So the same similarity, today I will show you how your domain expertise will help more into understanding your problem. So whenever you are talking to the client is trying to understand your business knowledge rather than your technology. Because he knows only the business side. Okay? And last two lines you can read it. Let me read for you people. This is what I am talking about. I have developed a Python code such that even non-engineering background, non-computer background, student can also learn these steps and provide the solutions for the clients. So that is the main, one of the, and this is the real problem. How you detect the patterns. Okay. And most of these slides are informative. Some slides I will stop by, I will explain. Wherever is necessary, I will use the whiteboard or blackboard, whatever you use. So what is fraud? Anyone has an idea? In your terminology, I am not expecting the definition. In your terminology, you tell me, what is the fraud?
False information.
Some giving false information. For that, what is the benefit you are getting? Are you getting any benefit because of that? Yeah, definitely you are getting, right? Why I am doing fraud? Getting money, right? In healthcare, how you do the fraud? Very simple, right? How you do the fraud? Misrepresentation. Whatever you give, everything is fake. Whatever you are trying to do is the false information. From that you are getting money. Money from whom? Insurance companies. Is that clear? And it will be give a bad impression. That's what I am trying to tell. These are the key characteristics. Deliberate act. Intentionally you are doing the business. Intentional. That is very important. And financial gain. Why you are doing that? To gain the money. So can anyone tell what type of data quickly these 2 points will address any person? That is related to data I am asking. No, I am not asking. Data means any person. If I take one map immediately to this deliberate act and financial gain, I can add like that. So that is what I am talking about the domain knowledge. Suppose one person is investing in he lost the money. What is the quick way to gain the money? To do the fraud, right? That's it. That is the best example. Are you getting my point? Whenever I take the profile of a person, I want to see that whether he is sharing, whether he is trading the shares or not. That is one of my points that I want to take. See, these are the points you need to understand. Okay? And third one is harm to the patients and payers. This is very, very important. because I am a patient, I claim unnecessary stuff. Because whenever, this is a real example, like whenever you go to any doctor or any hospital, the next is what is your coverage? They will try to squeeze that. But what happened? We are okay, we are not paying anything from that. But tomorrow, a real incident has happened. By the time your coverage is exhausted, 5 lakhs, whatever it is, then who is in the trouble? You, right? So, as a person, we should not encourage that. Are you people getting my point? This is only like just overview I am trying to give, like as a person from outside, what we have supposed to do. Right? That's the key characteristics of the fraud we are talking about. So, what are the different ways I can do the fraud? Very common sense, no need to explain too much, right? Billing fraud. When I am billing, I can accelerate the billing, I can give the false billing. And some people are really recently very intelligent actually. They are taking the 2 bills from the same doctor and giving a X company and Y because I have 2 insurance now. Why I was covered 2 insurance policies? Anyone tell the case study? Because my daughter and my son is working, both are covered under, as a parent I covered under both insurance. This is some Birla, this is Tata. You got my point? I can apply here and I can apply there. But that is a fraud, right? Are you getting my point? See, these are the real-time scenarios we should understand. Right? So, that is not good. And false and claims misrepresentation. But I am not going to talk like all those things. I would like to concentrate more on the real-time case study. But these are like a kind of overview and insights so that when I am explaining the problem, you can narrate actually, relate. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Okay. And what are other fraud types you can see here? Prescription. Do I need to explain? I can do anything, right? That is the one way. Then medical, suffering with fever. Then he has written all the medical tests which cost around 20,000. So they are unnecessary. Even I have seen some people actually, they will go for some stomach pain. They don't need any operation, but they will go for appendicite operation. Nothing harm in it, I understand that. But why you need that? You got my point. Those are, we are calling unnecessary procedures, which you don't need it. Then, right, these are different frauds happening. How it is impacting the patients? That is very important. Finally, you are the person going to suffer. First of all, your medical history is in bad state because you don't need any procedure, you are going for that. You are applying for fraud billing. You got my point what I am trying to say? So finally, you are the person going to impact. So, company is going to impact, patient is going to impact. Finally, these are medical aid is provided by the government of USA because I am finding USA perspective, whatever I am talking about here. So these are healthcare providers, insurance companies, right? So these are the you see the figure actually, how it is going to impact. This is only guess actually. This is not exactly the true value. This is only guess. Globally, you can see that 455 billions. 1 billion is approximately 8,000 crores. 87, I think, dollar amount. 88. 8,800 crores. 1 billion means. So the frauds are happening. That is across the global. And regional, from the USA perspective, 223 billion. So how it is going to impact actually? Okay, nothing is going from your pocket. That is what you are thinking. How it is going to impact the person actually? Anyone? Any guess? How it is going to impact? Insured. Huh? Not the taxes. See, here the very tricky thing in the insurance is, today, this year I am paying $100. My annual premium, just assuming. I have not claimed anything. But in your group, someone is claimed money. what will happen? That insurance company, next it will increase the premium. If it is a genuine problem, I am claimed it, but someone is claimed. If that is fraud, just assume that. So that money is distributed to everyone. So it is everyone is impacted. That's what we are calling a whistleblowers. Right? That is English term, right? Someone is doing the mistake. If you give that information to the government, you will get the reward for that. Right? So now you see, understand, right? So how it impacts. See, these are the simple case studies. Just see that guy, how smart he is. How much he charged? Almost 65 millions. One individual tried to do the fraud. These are the recent one actually, 23, 24. Just I took intentionally. Even before presenting this slide, I don't know that much amount actually. See, one person is involved and he is doing unnecessary procedures. That is in the form of kickbacks and bribes. 65 millions. Right? Of course, we got it and anyway, that's acknowledged. There is another you can see that. These are like a kind of information slides. Don't worry. These are like, no, how many people are involved in see? 24 licensed doctors. This is another problem. Doctors are involved, hospitals are involved, sometimes insurance providers are, companies are involved, patients are involved. But the big challenge is like, no, we are going to take their data and by looking at the data, we have to tell whether this guy is doing really the behavior pattern. That is what we are going to do over the real-time case study. And this is another these are the doctors are all involved. You see here, it's almost like 2.5 billion. This is not a small amount actually. 30 years back, the rules are not that strong actually. 30 years back, rules are very liberal. Now, the rules are very strict, crime rates, and they are going to give severe punishments. This is during the COVID age. Because most of the people are not covered, not having the health insurance. US government has gave that option, go for coverage and do that. So they have fake names. How much fraud you can see here? 230 million. See, all are not a small amount over here. See, the doctor is involved. Is that clear? So this is another example. Center Care Nursing Homes Settlements. This is almost another 83 million. This is why I am showing all these 4 case studies. How different stakeholders, when we say stakeholders, whoever is involved, either patient, as a doctor, as a provider, or an insurance company, right? All are how they are involved in the these big scams actually. Fraudsters, you can name them, right? So finally, how ethically we can implement. Technically, ethically, this is very important actually. Everyone talks about ethics. There is a proverb, right? Some person who talks too much about ethics is an unethical person, right? So better not to talk. So this is how it is impacting. Already we discussed how it is impacting the patient, how it is impacting the provider, right? Suppose one hospital, for example, XYZ hospital, people say that, hey, don't go to that hospital, man. Once you go, you have to sell your 1 acre of land, for sure. See that propaganda, right? You got my mind? They will do unnecessary stuff. Even you go for fever, you have to come out with some 20 lakhs, something like that. Are you getting my point? So how it is impacting? So ethical implementation is very, very strict it became. It became a law actually in US. Okay? Because I am not going in depth actually. So this is, I am going to give this slide so you can read it, you can thoroughly understand. These are the legal implications. In US, the beauty part is, if your act is very strong, the penalty or imprisonment is even small. So that is one way to control criminal charges. That will really happen. Right? Then there is a civil penalties. Anyway, this I am not going to discuss. This is for just information. So this is now we have to talk about here. So how do we handle this? So far what we are trying to talk is who are all the stakeholders in the fraud. Number one, we discussed. then how we are going to attack them, right? Now, our real problem starts here. What we are going to do? Technology. I am going to use the technology. Whether I am using AML, whatever it is, that is my decision. Means client decision. And second one is legislation. You have to make it a law. Otherwise, like what happened, no one is going to listen to you, right? Suppose if you jump the red line, for example, if you make it 5,000, people are not there to do that. If it is 50 rupees, I will pass every day. I am okay. I don't mind to pay monthly 2,000 now, 2,000 rupees. Are you getting my point? If you add imprisonment to that, over top of that, 6 months, what will happen? Everyone will follow, right? So, technically how to attack? And second one is like legislative reforms are very, very important. It is for any country, not only for US. I am talking about the USA perspective. Then organization best practices. This is I am talking about IT perspective. What are the best practices? Everyone talks about, right? Best practices. So if you technology with best practices from the organization perspective, if you implement that, we are going to talk upon one case study. This is another in-depth of that. So I'll spend some time over here. Whenever you are doing any AML solutions, for example, any AML solution, if you are doing that, who is the author of the data? Means who is identifying? Any guess from anyone? And what is data insights? When we say you have to go very in depth, what is data insights? Any guesses from anyone? Everyone is telling, right? Oh, give me data, I will run algorithms. Okay. But who is going to identify that data? Any idea? Any guesses? Yeah, you can tell answers, nothing wrong in it, right? Any guess from anyone? Okay, so for example, this is a client. I am sitting in front of the client. I am AI ML consultant. So he thought that I know everything and everything. That is the client's assumption. I am also very happy. I don't know anything, but that is the assumption client has. So what client will do? Client will explain the business problems. Explain the business problems. Client will explain only business problems. His pain areas. So what will be my duty? First duty? First I need to check whether it is right or wrong. I will give it layman example. I can jump into the next step. If no, what should I do? If it is no, what should I do? If it is no, I need to identify the problem. I don't have any option. For example, doctor and patient, take very similar like AML concept. When patient comes to the doctor, say that I am a stomach pain. Patient will start that only, right? What doctor is going to ask? What is next step from the doctor's side? He is going to ask multiple questions, right? What are those questions? Oh, are you getting your pain? Okay, stomach pain. Where, right side or left side? When you are sitting, when you are standing. When you are eating, when you are attending the class. Something like that. You got my point? What will happen? Those are calling probing questions. What do you mean by that? Probing questions. So I am going to ask probing question to the client. You got my point? I am going to ask the probing questions. From that, I will define the problem. Because I got the answer no, right? Then I am able to define. As a doctor, after asking all these questions, then only I will define, right, exactly why this gentleman is getting the stomach pain. You got my point? So similarly, I will ask all the probing questions. Okay, now it is, problem is identified. Business problem is identified, addressed by 3 problem statements. Because I am attacking the solution here. You got my point? Like a doctor, I am attacking 3 problems. Okay? So then, I need one. I know this problem already. And what I am trying to do, associated with this, I will do all the KPIs. Key performance index. Right? That is nothing but simple graph. That is like, for example, I am giving with respect to the time some patient's information. What is the input of the patient? This is the KPI I am talking about. KPI is nothing but by using some variables I am plotting a graph. Very simple. Why I am using KPI? The word instead of graph, I have to use only $25. Right? You got my point? The fun of using sugar that I need time, I need a count. Count of whatever it is. So from this I will derive the variables. I will identify multiple KPIs, KPI 1, 2, 3 like that, KPI 20. You got my point? Because I know the problem already. This is just assume that I am doing appendicite operation. Doctor. I know appendicite operation how to do, right? I know all the procedures, right? Like that, I know all the associated KPIs. This problem. Before starting a problem, I know the solution also. You got my point? How doctor knows? You got my point? Similarly, I have knowledge. I know what are the KPIs impacted. These KPIs I am converted into it. Now you tell me who is the author of the data? Me, right? AML consultant. Are you getting my point? So most of the time, wherever I go, people are asking like, give me data, I will provide the solution. I said, okay, you need to identify the data first. You got my point. So associated these KPIs, then variables, similarly. So now I identified 3 sets of variables. 3 problems, 3 sets. The variables may be multiple, like either duplicated or it doesn't matter. This problem is different, this problem is different. I am attacking the problem in a 3 aspects. So I am deriving the 3 files. I am going to request that data from the customer. So what is the next step? Identify data, right? So your client will provide the data. Because who recommended? Me, right? As an AML consultant, I recommended I need this type of data to address your problem. I will go back here. I will get the data from the different sources. I am talking about these sources right now. Most of the time, like now, I will take source from the document. Okay. Once I got the data, okay, I got the data. What is the next? So now data is ready. Right? So what will be my next step? Every day.
Program.
Processing the data, clean the data. Is there any missing values? Is there an outliers? Do we need to do the scalings? These are the pre-processing steps, right? We have the duplicate records. And you have to convert this data into numerical values. Why? Computer cannot understand the text, right? Is that my point? So our real problem starts here. That is what exactly people are doing. You are getting the data, right? Then pre-processing, which I can say clean up. Then using ML models, ML algorithms, then developing a model, then fine-tune the model, deploy the model. That's it, very simple. But the whole struggle, right, comes here. When you interact with the client edge. So for that, you need to have a domain expertise. Otherwise, how can I ask all these questions? So now you see that there are different ways of getting the data, source of the data. This is the informative only because I explained how to get the data. That is important. Okay. Then you get the government regulatory. Then insurance, payers data source. This is very important. Where like insurance companies, right, where you are getting large data. This is a very authentic data and structured data more or less. The fine tuning is very easy over here. You can see that I have mentioned that what type of data and I have given the format also. Some people said Excel format, XML format, Excel format, .csv format, sometimes JSONs, sometimes images, right? So I mentioned then hospital and provider. So I'm getting the data from all the stakeholders. One is the government, another is insurance company, right? Another is hospitals and doctors, and finally the patient's data also, right? Public and opinion. This is very important. Right? How can anyone tell like now how our social media is impacting my health insurance premium? Anyone can? Is it really impacting? Yes, no? Answer first. We'll go with that. Yes? Okay. When you say yes, why? Whatever you are putting on the social media, now employers are watching them. Be careful. When you are doing some fights, doing some naughty things, don't put on the internet, please. No Facebooks, no Instagram. Whatever you want to put it in nice things. At least, right? Going forward, this is one of the element, because one of the business requirement we got it. We want to estimate the behavior pattern of the student or employee from the internet. Means social media. How worthy you are. If your attitude is not good, I don't need it. Whatever the activities I am doing in my office, even average person can do that. I don't need intelligence. I need good attitude. So your attitude is at the stake when you put all nonsense things on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is, social media. So please don't do that. So that is why data I will take it from there also. And it is going to impact your premium actually. Because something you say, right, so recently I met the accident and you want to show a very fancy sticker on your leg and pose like this and put on the internet. When you give health insurance data, you never said that you met the accident. You got my point? Something like that, they will show that as a cause and they will reject your claim. Who is going to pay for that? Just like your mirror. Be careful. That's why so different source of data I am taking. This is unstructured. This is so this is for information only. Don't worry too much about this. So this is very important. Wherever slide is important, I will explain. Okay? Is that clear? So what is the traditional life? Earlier, see before AML, 10 years back, I don't have these technologies are not yet implemented. At least we have some business intelligence at the time. 20 years back, I'm not using these words very frequently, but I'm using business intelligence system. So what do you mean by traditional fraud detection versus AML based approach? Anyone has any idea before initiating my discussion here? Any idea?
Traditional way is inquiring with the hospital.
Okay.
And if it is initial learning, probably whatever the data we have, we depend on that and try to predict.
Yeah, partially that is right. Anyone want to share your thought on that? See, the traditional one, you can see that there itself. Earlier, we are calling expert system. Expert systems or risk system. It is measuring your risk score. Based on your risk score, your premium will increase, decrease. Right? End of the day, you are the clean guy. clean like a human being in terms of healthcare perspective. It is good. So aspect rule is nothing but there is a subject. He is going to define some rules. Rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3. Right? When you give the data, your data to that rule number 1, 2, like 30 rules are defined based on my experience. If everything goes through this, clean, I will issue a policy. The business rule is nothing but it is validating your data. Each rule is validating your data. Very simple. Okay? Now, what do you mean by AML here? I have only data. Here there is the business rules. What this data AML is doing? It is predicting the behavior pattern, right? So behavior pattern, right? 1, 2, 3, like that. 100. Just assume that for given scenario, I am able to validate only 30 rules for everyone. But based on the data, it may go up to 100 behavior pattern. So how many I am capturing here? 30%. Here how many? 100%. How much? You got my point? This is based on the data. This is based on the rules. Because if I give 1 million records here, my computer will generate this report within no time. Because I am using 250 GB RAM, whatever it is in the cloud. But here, for every customer I am using these 30 rules only. Whoever is coming, I am using 30 rules. You got my point? That is our traditional approach. Once it is implemented, so now you see like adaptability, fixed rules, manual update. I am just comparing it. Right? And scalability, false positive, detective, and these are like no, very weak here, strong there. All are self-explanatory. I will give one case study here. See that. I am giving some insurance of one particular person. Data is same. My traditional system says no risk. But my AML says risk. Why? It is capturing more behavior pattern than business rules. Very simple. Answer is there itself. Is that clear? That's it. Very simple. The banks, wherever money is involved, not only healthcare, actually, wherever money is involved, we determine the risk score. So, 30 years back, when I want to open an account, maybe students may not aware of that, at least faculty members know that. There is a standard procedure. I have to take some person from that bank, he has to sign on behalf of me, countersign, yes, Raji is known to me. Then only they will issue the bank, but it will take 6 weeks. Now what is happening? ICICI Bank, customer representative coming to my home, he is just asking my thumb, my data is popping up because of what? Aadhaar card. He will issue the card there itself. Less than 6 minutes. 6 weeks, less than 6 minutes. Is there any change in procedure, business procedure? No, right? That day same procedure. Now today also this is 6 weeks, 6 minutes. Earlier, everything is manual, that is why 6 weeks. That's what I am trying to say. Technology will help you. Is that clear? Now everyone, that is the best example actually. I think now Amitabh is doing ad right for the ICICI Bank, I believe. When he is putting for Patan something like that, one bank representative will come. If I give ad, no one is going to care, right? Again, that is a business strategy, marketing strategy. Amitabh has to give the ad, or Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar. You got my point. Now it is clear, right? Why machine learning is performing better than okay. So this is just like what is the ethical legal considerations, right? So don't worry too much about that, because this is one thing I want to discuss here. This one, most of the time, algorithms, any algorithm you take, there is inside. Anyone knows that? Do you have any idea what is happening inside? You are giving input, you are getting output. That is a kind of like a black box. We need a explainability. That is very, very important. From the business perspective, we should give the explanation to the client. Because client is not going to ask which algorithm you have used. He is asking like, business validation perspective. You want to ask like, how you need to explain why your solution is best fit for his problem. There is an explainable. That's what I am calling like explainable AI. Okay, that is very, very important. I'll incorporate it into my solution also. I'll show that. Right? And rest is like for informative purpose. See, this is very, very yeah. You can talk actually, but only I'll talk on the only first line item. Data quality. You have seen already earlier slides, right? Data getting from the different sources. Very unfortunate to say, different formats. Different formats of same variable. That is another big problem. For example, system X, system Y, system G. Three systems are developed. All are legacy systems, right? In system X, the variable key ID is 10 digits. System B, 12 digits. That is again 6 digits. So that is a problem, because when I am taking the data from these three systems, by taking key ID is my, that is a major problem. So the data quality, especially data quality in process system, from the different issues. If you have good quality of the data, your solution will be the at best. Otherwise, whatever the hard work you are doing, that will be waste of time, waste of money and waste of time. So that is the reason whenever you are taking any data, the data quality should be clean and it is available. Even if you take from one system, I am okay with it. I am not asking you to take 10 systems. To take even from one system also, I am okay with it. So that is the big challenge, like business challenges we are facing with the client side. The big problem is data. So everyone is telling, right, data speaks, data fuel, data is the foundation. This for what? This is input to your algorithm. If the quality is not maintained, we are gone. There is no point. Rest of things like it's a waste of time actually. Okay? So this is whatever so far I shared, right? Just I want to recap one more time. So what we discussed so far. So what is fraud? Who are the stakeholders, participate of the fraud? And what type of different source of data? How it is different from traditional to your traditional approach to AML approach? Then what are the challenges to get the quality of the data? Right? This is like a brief, these are the things you should keep in mind always. When you are getting the data, these are all the data points, whatever we discuss, should keep in mind. Otherwise, if I am getting some junk data, the results will be gone case. Right? Now I am moving to our problem statement. So this is and so this is the problem statement. Look at this. So this is a proof of concept we conducted for one of the client, right? What they are expecting is fraud detection in healthcare claims, and they want to implement AML technologies, artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies. So what will be my first step? What should I do as a consultant? I have to talk to the client first. Same thing, right? Same story, previous story. To get the data. So I got the problem statements, I got the variables identified. So now I requested the client to provide the data. So client has provided 3 data sets. Anyone has idea, like generally why client is providing 3 data sets? Generally what we'll do? We have one data set, we'll make it 70-30, right? We are very smart, right? 80-20 or 70-30. Then we'll provide our solution. Done. Over. But here, look at here. Client has provided 3 data sets. See, I'll explain actually in details so that it will be very important actually. So everyone should listen carefully. So here also, for our problem also, I have taken the 3 files here. File 1, F1, train the model. Okay. Train 1, the F1 is the train the model. File 2, so now we need to talk about the size of the file. Already we talked about the variables, right? For example, this one is variable V1, V2, right? Then Vt, this one is Vt minus 1, okay? This one also V1, V2. So, I have, right? Answer is simple, right? I will create, that's all. Answer is simple. I will create. If available, I will use it. If not, I will create. Very simple. Is that clear? So now you see, in the train data and the test data, I have, but in the validation, I don't have. Why? See, by using this file, I am going to predict this. I am going to predict and I will send that file to client. So you build the model here and you will give your evaluation matrix values and you test that both are by using these 2 files. And client will test with this file whatever the parameters you have given, that is plus or minus some variation. Client will give, generally allow 2.5. That's what we call it the model drift actually. The variation, deviation, plus or minus 2.5, client will, it all depends on competitive company. Sometimes 5%, right? You are my point. So, now you tell me what is the difference between these 3 files. What is the similarity, what is difference? Similarity is, this is size wise more. This is, for example, if I am asking around minimum 4 lakhs records. Right? This will be like, generally 50% of that. 2 lakhs records. There is no hard and fast rules here. Generally, this is, I am explaining with my experience. Minimum 4 lakhs records for to do the POC. This file should be 2 lakhs. This file should be 1 lakh. With variables, I am giving this information to the client, say that I need this size, that many records I need it minimum to do my operations. Even I will get 1 million records, I know that. This is the key. Now you see, earlier I talked about how you define the variable. Now, the size is also I am talking. Once POC is done, client is happy, you want to give the project, this will be 1 million for me. This will be 1 million records. And what is given? To build the model, to test the model. This is done by AI/ML consultant. That means me, I am doing that. I am predicting this. This one I am giving to the client. Client is going to validate me. Is that clear now? Right? Now you see, I have taken here, which includes the target variable. This is 50% I have taken approximately. Then 81 variables target. Target variable is with client actually, with key with the client, not with us. See, these are the variables. These are only limited list. There are around 250 plus actually. I have only given here for simple solution around 80 plus. There are 250 plus variables are there. I am not putting all over here, right? So again you can see that some basic variables have already client has given the masked data. they have done already scaling edge on that. And again, some derived variables scaling, and your final target variable fraud is the highlighted with red. So this is the 81 variables I am going to provide the solution to my client. This is a proof of concept. Okay? I am talking about the phase 1 only. I said fuck all of them because I know what is my input, what is my output. Based on that, I know what set of algorithms I have to use. Right? I am not defining. Right? I am not even even in supervised learning. If you don't have the target variable, what will happen? That will be unsupervised, right? So don't go by the bookish definition here. Go by your solution base, right? So generally I will use 20 algorithms here. I use only 5 because it takes a lot of time to run the program. Because my intention is to show all the steps to you people. That is my intention. You got my point? So out of these algorithms, right? Generally it will be 20. Generally I will use 20 to 25 are there, but generally I will use 20. Okay? So then it is recommended random forest. Let's say we consider only, I made a very note over here, very specific. I used only 5. Yeah. Generally it should be 20 for my general purpose. I'm using. So now by using these 2 files, I come up with the output a model. My model, what will be, which one perform better? Random forest here. Right? So first 2 files I used it, I got the outcome of this one. Okay? This is my model predictions. I have given this one here. Right? I have given all the evaluation matrix. And business values got these values. Because I have given my predictions, right? Based on that they calculated. I will show everything in the program. Don't worry. And what is the deviation? And what is the allowable deviation? I signed with the client plus or minus 2% deviation. If it is within that limit, I am okay with that. So now tell me, what is the difference between an algorithm versus a model? Anyone? So far we are talking about the algorithms, model, right? What is the difference between these two? Anyone? Answer is there in the question itself, or you have the answer. What is the difference between an algorithm versus a model?
In a model, we bring that. We fit the entire data into the model. And
Your answer is partially right.
Yeah.
See, model is nothing but fine tune of algorithm, that's all right. For a given condition, see, there are 10 players participating in the 100-meter dash. Who will be the winner? Only one person, right? That one person I am talking as a model. Again, that person is the athletic also, right? Part of this. So, model is the algorithm, subset of algorithm. But after having all the operations, methodologies applied, the final winner is your model. That's it. Remember in a layman terminology, no need to no. You got my point. I will not go by bookish knowledge. These are the very frequently they will ask actually. They are trying to trick it. The model is also algorithm only, right? The same thing. So now you see, now whatever I build, client is happy with me because within the sign limits. That is important. I am not giving exactly 0. It's impossible. It's impossible. Sometimes it comes 0, that's a God gift actually. I don't know why I got 0. Generally, I won't get it actually. Is that clear? Now this is the procedure. Now the same steps, each step, I will show in the program. I will run in the program and you will see that. Can anyone help me? I want to open that. Once you want to see the screen, what you do, go on the Now I am going to show the steps and the same procedure. How I adapted those steps I will explain here. Please note these steps. This is very important because I know when you have 3 files, how to address your steps, right? So this is what I am going to show here. When I share the program also, I will share with start. I share the files, 3 files, and the program. Then this is very quite interesting actually. Here, very like you should be very careful. Most of the time, what is happening? File 1 will get the 81 parameters. File 2 also 81 parameters. Make sure they are in. Like people are like given one parameter is going this way and that way. What will happen? See, our algorithm look is always in the similar pattern, right? You should be very careful. So now you see the steps actually. So as I said, right, the steps are like just with comments, with common sense, everyone can write this book. I told, right, if you have common sense, you can write this book. You don't need to be expert in Python program. You should be expert in reading English, that's all. No need to be expert. Read English. So what I am doing in my first step, all my solutions, I want to call all the packages, what I am going to use it. That's all, very simple. I am going to use, right? So this one, let me clean up. Let me run here the solution. Okay. So I ran my, I invited all my packages. So there is a one question before going to the next step. So I can add, show the line numbers. So whenever any event happens, I know which line easy to capture actually. So what is my next step? Here 3 files, right? You should be very careful. I have to perform, this is very important actually. For file 1, right, train the model, right? So whatever the steps I am applying here, whatever the steps I am applying here, apply the same steps to all the other 2 files. And make sure all the variables in the same order. Are you getting my point? What I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
File 1, first variable is keyword, key ID. File 2 should be also same. File 3 should be also same. You got my point? Except the target variable, right? So file 2, file 3. So first what I will do, I will pull the file 1 first. I will complete all my cleanup steps. So what will be my first step? Cleanup steps, when I say what will be my first step? Duplicate values, right? Outliers. Find the missing values. Anyway, this data is very clean. I have cleaned it. If you don't find anything, just like for the sake of step, I am running it. You won't get anything because already clean data this one. You got my point? Generally, that's what I said. Dr. Shamsula today. I need 6 hours to explain end to end. Right? Not in a short time. I cannot do all these things. So first I started. The first step, I am loading the data, whether it is from the cloud or internet or my hard drive, whatever, right? Putting it into my environment. And what is my next step there? I am making a backup file. Why I need to make a backup file? Any idea? Because I know that I am going to modify my file. When I am presenting my results back to the client, I need to use my original file. Right? Otherwise, you will confuse. Hey, what the post-mortem you have done my file? It's a very problem, right? So make sure when I am presenting my results plus original file. And just I want to see whether it is properly displaying. First 5 values I want to see that, whether they are properly displayed. So what are the steps I am doing for file 1? I need to apply for file 2 and file 3. That is the thumb rule. Keep in mind. Okay, now it is displayed. Now you see all the values. I can go up to here. So the last one is that indicator also luckily we got it from the client because they identified a lot of fraud cases. Okay. Then this is simple step. What I am going to here, I am displaying the data set information. So what you know here, now you understand, right? The format. This is whatever you see here. That is the row index, technical point of view. I'll talk a little bit about technology also. From the Python side, those are like a kind of unique index for you. Sometimes I can use key index, key row. If not, I can use index also. That can be also used. So see this one. Information. It talks about column index. It talks about what type of data it is. This data is like data type. You see that whether it is a numerical value or text value, object, whatever it is. At the end of the day, what I need text or object, whatever it is into numerical form. Why? Computer will understand numerical values. Very simple. Answer is. You got my point? Now this is only display purpose. I want to see that. Okay, see all the variables, how it is displayed. Now, especially in the classification analysis, I am going to check is the data set is balanced or not. Can anyone have any idea what you mean by balancing the data set here? Why I am doing this? Any idea? So you need to interact actually whether it is right or wrong, don't worry. Just answer me. Anyone?
Each class having same size. Each class having same size. Balanced.
To remove the outlines.
You mean is there any ratio you are planning to do that? Let me give one layman example. I want to find, I have 100 records. I want to find what will be the best sample size ratio should be if someone is asking that question by giving 100 records. I will say at least 10% bad records should be. The sampling size. Sampling size is very important. Out of 100, if 10 bads are there, 90 goods are there, then it will be easy for me. Now you see the ratio also you can see, you cannot read that. Here it is showing that I am putting that. So I want to check my classification. I will explain here. See, your target has two classes. What are those two classes? 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. I am calling like major class and minor class. What do you mean by major class? Major means which is in more number. Most of the time 0 will be more number, right? Most of the time, right? That is my assumption. Major class, minor class. So the ratio of major to minor is greater than 10, that is imbalance. Right? This, I will get this count, I will get this count. This divided by this is greater than 10, I can say imbalance. The data set is not balanced.
So is there any standard globalization, standard values?
No, that's what I am saying. As such, nothing is not there. This is generally industry practice people are using. That's what I said. Here, statistics, you see, I will prove by like taking the same data as the intelligent, by taking same data as I will do as an idiot also. So where is standards? It all depends on that AML concept, right? So general industry practice. That's what I said. Industry practice means most of the people are using, right? Similar thing I am talking about. So generally I will use 12.5 actually. Mine is 12.5. Now I will do that. Now you see, once you run these steps once you run, right? These are like no, I am just see, I am putting like no 0, 1 count, then ratio by this. What is the fan? Right? I am just displaying. Now this is 10.45. It is greater than 10 means what I said? Balanced. Imbalanced. When it is balanced, my algorithm addressing is different. Problem statement is different. Otherwise, what I need to do first? First I need to correct this. First I need to correct. What I need to do? I need to increase my one size such that it should be greater than 10. You got my point? So there are some techniques we are using. Right? What is my next step? I need to apply that only, right? So, okay, before that, I am trying to check is there any, I want to check my duplicate values. Nothing is there. You got my pen? This is for purpose of like steps I am running it. This is a very clean data set actually. Okay? Now you see here, only 2 variables is there having the text format, object. One is gender, another is region. So I need to convert that one into numerical format. So I am using the map function, right, with one step. Earlier, this gender and region is having the object form. Now it is integer. I converted, right? Just I want to make sure. I want to make sure it is converted. Yes. We are like no dealers. What is the purpose? And what is the benefit of it?
Not influencing the topic.
Yeah. Those variables are not impacting your target. For example, my name is Raju. Name is there, for example. Is it going to impact my target variable? No, right? But that information is necessary to contact me. Right? That is a very critical information when they want to contact me. But email ID, mobile number, some values, right? Especially all the key values. Suppose your bank account number, your insurance policy number, your credit card number. That is not going to impact your fraud. Nothing to do, right? So I want to delete them. I want to drop them. Right? Run this. After running, I want to check again, right? Now, this one, I am separating my x values and y values. Right? What I am trying to do here, I will explain here. See, my variables are like this, right? V1, V2, up to V81. This V81 is my target. Right? Everyone is. What I am trying to do, this is my file F1. Okay, what I am trying to do, I am putting all my, this is into X, this is into Y. So that is the step I am separating. I am making all my independent variables versus target variable. That's it. That is the step, right? So what are you trying to do here? This step. So now I got my x values and y values. Now I separated successfully. Now this step is over. But earlier, do you remember? When you took the, now I want to increase, right, my size. Here in y values, either 0, 1, 0, 1. Duplicate record such that the ratio, if I take again, that should be less than, should be less than 10. Now that's what I'm trying to do. Here I'm using one random oversampler technique, and I'm doing the percentage actually here. Sampling strategy 4.5. Now what will happen? I am taking this x and y as an input to that. And I am calculating revised x and revised y. Make sure to balance that, right? Let me run. Okay. How do you know it is balanced? What I am trying to do, I want to merge again. Very simple. I want to merge again. And again I want to run with the new file. New file, the same ratio. Right? Run this. Now what is the ratio? 8, right? Because I took 4.5%, right? Now you take the ratio of these two. Now I address that problem. Imbalance. If I don't have that problem, I will continue. I will skip this step. If it is a data set is balanced, I will skip these 3 steps. You got my point? Now I want to display. These are only display purposes. I am not explaining. Now with the scaling technique. Why I need to apply the scaling technique here? Any idea? What do you mean by scaling? Have you people heard about normalization and standardization techniques in the statistics? Right? So here very simple. For example, let me give a very layman example. For example, there is a age, there is a claim amount. So for example, age 20, claim amount 2,545.75, 27, 700. When computer is trying to look at this data, age, computer doesn't know. This variable belongs to age. He doesn't know, right? And he doesn't know it belongs to 2,545. You got my point? What I am trying to do is, scaling is the technique. What I am trying to do is, I want to try to do normalization. What I will do normalization technique? I will take the minimum. Similarly, claim amount, which one is the least, I will make it as 0. And what is the highest, I will make it as 1. You got my point? Now I am creating a list here. Now most of the time I start over. Is that clear? I am okay with that. But the scaling should be the last. Is that clear? Yes. Now I have completed steps for, cleanup steps for file 1. That is nothing but train the model. I will apply the same steps for running info. I want first to make sure all are the same order, 81 of 5. That should be, right? So that I have checked it already, yes, it's good. Then checking the null values and white test, right? So here I am not performing the balance step here. Why? This is file for test, right? I don't need to put that test here. In test file, yes, I am giving input to validate my model with the given data. Separated, then okay. Now my file 1 is ready, file 2 is as I said, I am not using the exhaustive list, only 5 algorithms. So the given condition, which one is the better, that will be my model. Model, right? So here, for comparison, like I want to display so many variables, I cannot see it actually, very difficult for me. What I did, I have given an empty file, result file, so that I can push very easily there, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay? So, result file. Now see, initially it is empty, 5 algorithms, and I'm putting in the, creating the object for the algorithm. Then I'm running in the recall, F1 score, specificity, balanced accuracy, Matthews correlation. I'm comparing, right? So I think everyone has seen the confusion matrix. Order of priority. First I will look into the accuracy, but keep in mind, this is very, very important. Algorithm, but not that. So once you got the results, you share those. I will give the pointer, that key versus outcome. I will share with the client. Client has the original values. You will cut and paste this. Now it is easy, right, to compare. But even it is difficult. What I did next step, I put in an order action. My job is, now I have chosen a phase 1, right? Phase 1, I have chosen a random to give a model, to deploy my model. So here, maximum scalar. So now I am predicting. So what is my model? As I told, right? That is phase 2 and phase 3. So my Y prediction, the file I am going to give to the client. I need to give a that I am. This is my model. So I have taken again fresh and giving input. This time input my business state. Business state, because business is going to validate this, not me actually. I am validating and giving this value to business. Okay, it takes a little bit time. I will do one thing. Let me. I will show that file so that you will understand. Is like, see, this is the client first two values, original value. I cut and paste that value. This will be input to my business validation, right? I am validating those. What happened? Okay. Now you see I am comparing it. Whatever I am comparing, I am just Google. So this is like, no, we are doing a small way that I am calling as a proof of client. Very simple terms because that time constraint. So this is, if you like, no. Because these steps are repeating again and again. We have seen it already, right? Most of the classification and another few more steps for regression analysis and a few more steps for cluster analysis. Data pre-processing steps are same for the final step, right? It takes a little bit time. Whatever the results I got at bottom, I compared the same results and this deviation, whatever you see here, the deviation. Now, whatever I have got the previous version, the model predictions divided by percentage, you know how to calculate that. Any questions? With a very layman example so that you will understand actually. Most of the time what people are thinking, I got the variables, V1 to some V81, right? Yeah, we observed that some variables are. So those values, how we do that, let me explain here. I think I'll explain with very layman example so that you will remember for sure. Okay. So what do you mean by data insights? Most of the time people are talking very frequently, right? Data insights. Any idea? Data insights, people say data visualization. We will stop there itself. But we need to go to a deeper into that. Right? For example, I'll tell you very layman example. You can see that. You know that you will get it. How? Process is there, right? Right? I don't like to use high fondas. When milk sleeps, it becomes B1, B2, milk level. Some variables I want to see based on my business knowledge here. Some are here. You got my point? So for example, I want to derive is equal to V3 minus V4 divided by V4. You got my point? So that comes from milk only, right? You got my point? Now again, I am not stopping there. I need to validate this one, V22, that is V21 multiplied by V6. You got my point? Again, I am not stopping there. I am going for V23 is equal to V22 plus V17. Again, I am not stopping there. V24 is equal to V23 divided by V10. Now you see, I want to use V24. How many variables are involved here? V10 is involved, V17 is involved, V6 is. If I got this value, am I going to delete these variables or keeping? Is my business not again? I may not use all of them again. So during process, maybe I may not use V6. I may not use V17. But I may use V3, V4. You know, understand, right, how to drop the values. Now, everything I want to see at 24, V22. Sometimes I'll stop here itself. I don't need it. Sometimes I stop here. See, this is what exactly my meaning of data insights. If you have the business knowledge, how to drill down to next. If you practice with like 10 problems, take one area, any area, that will help you to at least, like I am not expert at saying that you will become expert. At least you will be odd man out, better than other people. Right? You got my point. So this is what exactly the data insights, what I want to see that. Now you understand the importance of the business I am talking about? Because without your business knowledge, you cannot derive V20. You cannot derive V22. And the beauty part, you have seen it. I am using plus, minus, divide, multiplication. I am not using any differential and calculations. Anyway, I am done. Is it clear now? Why I am giving this layman example? So that you will remember forever. So I want to use V24. I don't use V23, 22, 21. I have calculated, but I am not using it. I am not using V6, V17. But I am using all of it. Like that, this is one business for me. Like that, I am deriving the variables. So that is what exactly. So whatever the data you are getting, you are taking, you giving as input. That will not give the accurate results. Why I am getting all 95 plus something? Are you getting one? Have you seen that? That is because of this one. I am going inside details. Each variable, literally each variable I am talking. I am talking to each variable. Then only I can able to derive. This type of business knowledge you should have. This type of insights you have to derive. At student level also possible, because all of these are very plain, understanding plain business knowledge. Only thing is, you need a hands-on practice for 5 to 6 problems. That's all. You will get like no expertise in it. Whatever you have seen this coding, right? No time everyone can learn that. Even I am also using it. Initially I developed it. Later on I started using cut and paste. You need to understand each step I have given a meaningful meaning. I mean, that means what exactly that step is meaning. So that you will not confuse also. Is that clear? So with that, I want to close my thing. Thank you very much. Any questions from anyone?
Thank you, sir, for your session on MI in healthcare, and it is truly insightful. I now request Dr. M. Kumaraswamy sir and Dr. C. Shyamendra sir to felicitate Dr.
Right, sir.
Thank you, everyone. We'll break for 15 minutes, and I request all the faculty to take the tea is served outside. They can go out, and all the students please remain in your seats. In 15 minutes, we'll start the next session.
Sikha